Hi, my name is Ivana and I've been living here in Bangalore for the past 3 years. Today I thought I would do a Q&A since a long time, so I asked you guys to submit some questions here on the YouTube community page. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that right now. And also on Instagram, so if you're not following me there, you can follow me there as well. Without further ado, let's see what you guys want to ask me. What's your favorite Indian food which you like to order a lot? Well, I actually even ordered this on my birthday, and it is soya chap from Chandni Chowk to Bangalore, and lemon rice, I think from Empire Hotel. It is perfect. If you haven't tried it yet, you really should. The change you noticed in India during COVID lockdown and other parts in the world, socially and economically, what you liked being here in lockdown, and what was your dislike. I actually even made a video comparing the Netherlands COVID approach with India. I will try to link that video down in the description below. If I forget, please remind me in the comments. I like how the whole wearing face mask thing is so strict, because I know, for instance, in European countries, people are sometimes getting mocked for wearing face masks, where I feel like that's just so ignorant. What I really dislike about being here in India is obviously that a lot of people have daily wage jobs where they depend on their livelihood from the work that they do that day, and I hope that in the future that will develop into a situation where they have a more continuous income, so we don't have that situation anymore when there's a lockdown. People just don't have an income right that day and they're worried about how to eat. What I did really like is how normal, regular people immediately jumped into action and started making meals for these people, started contributing to funds to feed these people. So that was something that I think was really good, but I don't like the fact that that situation even exists. Let's be real. What's your ultimate aim in life other than being a travel vlogger? Something that you want to do for humankind? Just curious. Okay, this is a huge goal, but I think by now I've reached a point in my life where I have accomplished so many dreams, and I feel that I need to really aim for the stars, which is contributing to India becoming a superpower. I have already given a talk about this. If you're curious about that, I will try to link it down in the description below. And also my TED talk was kind of touching on this topic. I believe the values that India has towards humanity, generosity, kindness, tolerance also, I have to say, is something that I need more. I personally need more on the global stage, and I feel the world also needs more kindness, more generosity, more just tolerance towards each other. So if India becomes a superpower, I believe the whole world can learn more of that, and hence I would like to contribute to that goal. Can choose 100 things in mind. Oh, clandestine project. I am guessing your question aims at somewhere in the workshop department. Just recently, in case you don't know, I have been working on an Instagram workshop with my brother. Not about vlogging at all. It's more about sharing the professional skills that we have learned by working in the corporate life, and my brother is also an executive coach in Hong Kong. So I'm very proud and happy to finally announce the launch of our first Instagram workshop next week. The course is called Control Your Goal and gives you all the information you need for successful goal setting. It is not a workshop about vlogging or anything like that. It is about how to set goals based on your core human needs. And if you would like to know more about it, because I don't want to spam you guys too much, click the link down in the description below. On that webpage, everything is explained, also how it works with an Instagram workshop. So I hope to see you guys there. But otherwise, I am very excited to finally launch that. Which Indian festival you enjoyed here in India? The festival that I have enjoyed the most in India and that I absolutely love just as much as Christmas and New Year's in the West is Diwali. I have an amazing Diwali video that you really should see if you haven't seen it yet, where my friend Kinjo and her family saved my dad and me from not being able to board a train on Diwali. So if you would like to see that vlog, it is linked down in the description below. How much is your willingness for the contribution towards India's growth, and what are your plans for that? Well, like I mentioned, one of my biggest goals in life is to contribute to India becoming a superpower. And yes, I know it's a huge goal, but something that I do on a daily basis, for instance, because I live here in India, is spend all the money that I earn paying my rent to my Indian landlord, paying the salary of my Indian maid, paying my Indian manager a percentage of every single sponsored video that you see on my channel. So all the money that I earn is actually mostly spent in India, hence why I'm actually contributing to the economy, eating my soy chap and my lemon rice. Also, I am working with this Indian company called Motherpod, something I'm also super proud of. I have been their communication strategy consultant now for more than a year. They are a company that aims at giving scenics jobs that are fit for their skills. In case you want to know more about that, I've linked their website down in the description below, because again, it's something that I'm super proud of. Soon, you will definitely see more of that. Productivity for work from home. Schedule a calendar with the things that you absolutely have to do. I mentioned this in a vlog before where I was talking about my quarantine work life. I will try to link that vlog also down in the description below. But I just use Google Calendar and I schedule the things that I need to do for that week at a certain time and for a certain time. So you make it very easy for yourself to just follow a schedule instead of constantly having to decide when you are going to do what and trying to remember what you're trying to do. So that would be my biggest recommendation. You do jobs in India? Yes, like I mentioned, there are a lot of questions about my job in India. I do a lot of things, so it's also a little bit confusing when I talk about it. Yeah, specifically for Motherpod, I am their communication strategy consultant, and also I am working on a new podcast which will shed a new light on India as a superpower. And obviously, I've made so many travel vlogs in India, trying to show foreigners a different perspective of India compared to traditional media, which makes them super excited about coming to the country and trying out new things, hence contributing to the tourism in India. More questions about my work. What exactly is your work in India? Do you work as a freelancer or do you have a corporate job? What visa are you staying? Do you plan on getting permanent residency? How hard is it to get a PR as a Dutch person? Wow, so many questions. No, I don't have a corporate job in India. I work in my own company. For this, I had to register my own company in India, hence why I also have a business visa. Do I plan on getting permanent residency? I think the best that I can get is an OCI, but for that, I would have to marry an Indian. And then how hard is it to get a PR in India as a Dutch person? It's not easy. None of this is easy. The easiest visas to stay in India, I think, are employment visas, tourist visas, and research visas. But the tourist visas and the research visas don't, and actually also the employment visa don't allow you to work by yourself, which is something that I've always been doing, hence why I went through all the mess of registering my own company here in India. Do you plan to move from India? No, I actually do not. I think I need to make a separate video speaking again on why I moved to India. If you guys want that, let me know down in the comments below. I know it sounds very strange, but I get super homesick if I'm away from India for more than 2 weeks. And this has happened multiple times. So it's not just that honeymoon phase, like, oh, I fell in love with the country. No, I've been here 3 years and still every time I leave after 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, I need to go back to India. I miss all my Indian food and my Indian people and the great weather. So no, I do not plan to move from India. Did you know today is Hindi Divas, Hindi Day? Say something in Hindi. Okay, bade desho mein aisi choti batein hoti rehti hai. It's one of my favorite things that I recently learned during the Hindi challenge, which I've paused for now, by the way. But yeah, I love Hindi. What is something new that you tried in quarantine? I think that is the Instagram workshop that I created with my brother, because before that I never had time because I was traveling so much, and this was the first time in 5 years that I was in the same place for so long. So we made this Instagram workshop and I really hope you guys will like it. Again, check out the link down in the description below if you want to know more. What do you think about how India is handling COVID? I'm guessing you're asking this question because India just recently reached pretty much the top of the list of countries with the most cases in the world. And just recently, we also hit a new record of about 10,000 cases per day. My friend even messaged me in panic, like, what is happening over there in India? Well, the thing is, India has cranked up their testing a lot, hence why obviously the cases are also rising. But if you look at the mortality rate, it is fairly low here in India. So I think India did really great by taking very strict measures in the beginning. And now that, everybody's kind of gotten in that groove and gotten used to face masks, we can kind of roll with COVID and start slowly getting the economy back on track again. Ever get homesick during this crazy period of Corona? No, because I know if I leave India after 2 weeks, I will be crying and I will be depressed because I miss India so much. Obviously, I love the Netherlands. I think it's a beautiful country, but India is where I belong somehow. What's the most quarantine-y thing you have done so far? Well, let me show you something. Trying to tie the perfect blouse tie thingy. This. Apparently there is a way where you tie it and then, oh gosh, okay. So this is messed up, but I've been trying to learn that. And of course, we have abandoned pants. I mean, who of you guys is still wearing pants? Not me. What are pants? Why are pants invented? Sweats, bottoms, all day, every day, baby. Best lesson you learned during working life. I'm guessing you refer to my corporate life. In case you don't know, I have worked at Hill & Knowlton Strategies in the Netherlands, which is a communications strategy firm. I was a communications consultant, and one of my biggest tasks was to call journalists almost every single day and pitch them a certain story. In the beginning, I felt like a telemarketer, which is obviously not very beneficial for your results. So when I discussed that with my manager, he told me, I'm going to tell you something that my manager taught me when I was struggling with this. So this is kind of like a generations learning. He said, the only way to learn something that you are so uncomfortable with is by doing it 100 times. Call journalists for 100 times. Make those 100 calls, and I promise you, after that, it will be easier. And it has. Right now, I can just call up a journalist, have a chat, pitch a story, and I don't have that feeling of being a telemarketer anymore, because sometimes journalists are actually waiting for a story because they don't have any inspiration. But the real reason why that lesson is so important for me is because I also apply it in other parts of my life. For instance, when I started making YouTube videos, I felt so uncomfortable and so conscious about it that I remembered what my manager said, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna make 52 videos, one video each week for a year, and then see how I feel about it. And obviously after that, it was all easier. So whenever I'm trying to do something difficult or something new, I always apply that lesson, do it 100 times, and I promise you, you will get better at it and it will get easier. What are your qualifications? Oh, this is a question I also get a lot throughout my channel because I don't talk about my studies too much. I have a master's in communication science, I have a bachelor in Dutch law, and I have a master's in information law. How do you keep yourself motivated when everything is just a mess? I don't. Literally, before I was filming this video, I was having massive anxiety and panic attacks. The thing that I learned during my burnout, in case you don't know, I also had a burnout during my corporate life, which basically means that you're so exhausted up to a point where you literally can't get out of bed, and the risks of getting depressed are very, very high in that situation. So the biggest lesson that my doctor taught me back then is to have basic things that you do every single day. He said you have to have 3 meals a day, you have to have a good night of sleep, and you have to do some form of exercise. Now, I'm not doing exercise these days, which I think is causing these anxiety and panic. I wouldn't call them attacks because it's not that severe, but waves. Hence why I just let it wash over me, which is also something that I learned in therapy. Uncomfortable feelings, notice how I didn't say negative feelings, are just as relevant as very comfortable or positive feelings. So if you're feeling afraid, or if you're feeling sad or disappointed, just let it wash over you. It needs to have its place in your life, and then it will pass so much faster. That's also the reason why I'm able to film this video now, because I was just laying in bed for 30 minutes, letting everything wash over me. Then I started watching YouTube videos and I was like, oh, this is so much fun. I want to make a YouTube video. And I was like, wow, I'm actually scheduled to make a YouTube video. Hence why I'm making this video. So don't keep yourself motivated. Feel what you're feeling, give yourself space to feel that, and then motivation will come automatically after that. Best thing about Bangalore, according to you, it's the hipster capital of India, honestly. All the startups are here. It's such a mixed, diverse city. Food, there's so many like new initiatives in terms of food. It's such a hipster city. I love it. How are you doing these days? Have you adjusted to the new lifestyle finally? When you're going back to Netherlands? Well, like I said, I do not plan on going back to the Netherlands, but have I adjusted to the new lifestyle? I don't know. I guess just like all of you, I have my roller coaster days where I wake up super happy, and then after that I'm sad, and then I'm scared, and then I'm super motivated, and then I get disappointed again. I think we just have to roll with it and see where all of this takes us. These times are uncertain, so it's best to just take it day by day, I guess. How are you guys doing? Let me know down in the comments below, because it's been such a long time since I chatted with you guys. Hence why I felt more comfortable doing this video instead of like, you know, those fancy edited videos. I am from Rio, and my Dutch boyfriend's dream is to visit India. Being really honest, I prefer to visit rich countries than poor ones, as I already come from a tough reality. Which places would you recommend me to visit? I mean places where they have good infrastructure. Please forgive me if it's a dumb question. It's definitely not a dumb question. I'm guessing if you're going off on the image that traditional media is giving off of India, I can imagine why you would feel this way about India. However, please do realize that there is a very, very growing middle class in India who also really love to travel. So the infrastructure all over the country is really amazing. The flights, the trains, the buses, they're all really good. In the big metro cities, you will also have Uber, which is available with international credit cards. I will not recommend the local alternative, Ola, because I think their customer service is really bad. I've mentioned this before. If you really want to go to a place where I think you will see so many beautiful things without being reminded of the developing side of India, because that is definitely there. I'm not going to deny that. I would recommend Kerala, because I think Kerala is a very, very clean state, which is something that usually bothers foreigners when they come to India. The massive piles of trash in the big cities. Also, Himachal Pradesh is really, really very clean, very beautiful, but that's more of a mountainous area. Also, Ladakh is now getting so cleaned up because people were throwing trash, but then everybody got really upset. So now Ladakh is very, very much cleaned up. However, if you want the tropical, very, very exotic side of India, I would recommend Kerala, because Kerala has a lot of things. You can go to Varkala, to the beach. You can go to Munnar, the beautiful hill station. Kochi is such a cute little historical city. So I feel Kerala is always a very, very safe option for a first introduction in India, especially if you're coming from a developing country yourself. I think Kerala will be a very, very pleasant surprise and a very different image of India than what you're used to from traditional media, who love to put the developing side in the spotlight. But there's so much more to India than just that. So don't be scared. How are they with black men in India? Have had multiple dreams over the years of being there. Well, if it's your dream, I think you should always go for it. However, I have heard from many of my Indian followers that Indians do tend to be racist towards black people. This is not my experience, I have to say, because I have met some African artists here in Bangalore, and they were all very happy to be here, and they were having a great time. I think there is also this other channel of an African guy in India. I will link it down in the description below when I find it. I just forgot his name right now. I really like his perspective of India, because I think he's also having a great time. It's a lot about your own mindset and how you treat people. If you expect them to be racist, and if you expect to run into, racist situations, I feel, especially in India is such a mirror of your own mindset. You will find that. However, if you expect the best of people, if you are kind to people, if you are outgoing and open towards people, then I think you're just gonna have a great time and you don't have to worry about the color of your skin. Where do you see India after 20 years? Do you think we can overcome our weaknesses like sanitation, women's safety, quality education, and poverty? Oh my gosh, you shouldn't even be asking this. Look at where China was 10 years ago. I genuinely don't see any reason why India shouldn't surpass China. This is going to happen 100%. India is already a huge global power. People are so passionate about getting better lives here, Indians. Just look at all the CEOs of Indian descent in the US. Indians are already running the world, and that is only going to get better. India in 20 years, look back on this, what I said. You're going to be absolutely amazing and dominating the global stage. Hey, I've been watching you for a long time and wanted to say that you've helped me fall in love with India. That makes me so happy. That's why I make these videos. Also, the power is off. That's why you hear a beep in the background. One of the things that makes life here so adventurous. A question I have is, what challenges have you faced while traveling, living in India, and how have you overcome them? One day, I'd love to visit India and travel across the whole country. 100% that should be on your bucket list. You have to understand that this is a world that will probably be completely different than what you're used to. So having an open mind, for instance, about eating with your hands, or people being very late, or sometimes people speaking to you in a very direct manner, because when you translate Hindi directly into English, it's very direct. It's like give. In English, it sounds very rude, but in Hindi, actually, it's a very normal way of speaking. So the best thing that you can do for yourself, if you want to come to India and if you want to have a good time, have a flexible mindset and accept that things are going to be completely different than how you know them back at home. Okay, this is annoying. 2 seconds. And we're back, because that power backup thing is so annoying. It will just keep beeping. If you guys have some kind of recommendation of how to turn that off, let me know down in the comments below. Just the beeping. I like the power backup, but the beeping is very annoying. Anyways, if you had the choice, which place in the world would you quarantine in other than India? Philippines! From aspiring traveler to a traveler, how much money should I back up before quitting that job? It depends on which countries you want to travel, because obviously countries like Norway are going to be very expensive, whereas countries as the Philippines are going to be a lot more affordable. I saved 21,000 euros, and at the end of my year of travel, I had at least half of that left. But I know, for instance, Los LeBlanc had only 11,000 dollars, Canadian dollars, I think, back then. And with that money, he also traveled the world. I think he was mostly in Asia. I think if you aim at somewhere between 11,000 up to $20,000, I think you should be good. However, one great recommendation that I would like to give you is to just Google the daily travel costs of any country that you would like to visit, and then multiply that with the days that you would like to stay there. That will give you a budget for that country, and you can obviously also do that with all the other countries. So maybe you actually will need even less money if you're planning on just traveling very low budget countries. But yeah, like I said, if you want to be on the safe side, somewhere between 11,000 up to $20,000, that should be good for definitely a year of travel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to put a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel in case you're not subscribed yet. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!